Hi, and welcome to another. God damn it, would you please turn off that noise? Thank you. To another episode of my Devlog Journey of Happiness. You can probably already tell that this episode is going to be about music, or trying to make some music, because for this devlog I am going to cover a very good program that I found to make, or in order to make some music. I've actually tried to start and make a soundtrack, or at least something, for my game, so that whenever I let people play my prototype, it's not going to be completely quiet. So I found this very cool program, which is called LMMS. It's this program. You can find it on this website. I will add the link in the description. And it is a very good program. It's completely free, it's open source, and also the license is a general public license. So whenever you open up the program LMMS, this is the window that you're being presented with. So you have your song editor. In here you have different types of instruments that are currently in it. These are the default instruments. You have a mixer and a controller rack. On the left side you have a sidebar, and in here, for example, we have instrument plugins. This is not going to be a tutorial for LMMS, it's just going to show my approach on how I start to create music. So let's go ahead and remove all of these tracks. And I really like to use the plugin Vestige. If I click on it, I can load additional plugins. So clicking on this folder now enables or allows me to navigate to the folder where I have all of my custom plugins that I downloaded, my VSTs, stored. And I can go ahead and, for example, select the VSCO2 or an acoustic guitar. So I can open up this DLL. And upon loading, this window is being presented this window, which is the Brazilian SCD Chamber Orchestra. You can get this plugin on this website. I will put the link in the description. And in here you can just simply navigate through products to freeware and then select the VSCO2 community. And in here, simply scroll down. You have a couple of demo songs. And then you can either download the sound files or the VST, which is a DLL, which is the plugin that I am using. So what's so cool about this plugin? Well, for one, you have multiple instruments that you can choose from. So if I click on Sketch Violin, I get a list of different instruments that I can use. And I can also change the articulation or the mode. I like to say mode. The instrument is being played or should play in. So for example, I have a tremolo, and I can go ahead and I can listen to a preview how this would sound. I can over here select the different modes. So I can, for example, click in here and then I have this pretty cool sounding mode. Or just simply play them normally. And now, after setting the instrument in the way you want, you can go in the song editor. You can, let's remove this. You can click in here, and then the song or the piano roll is opening up, and now you can lay out notes. So, for example, I can go ahead, place a note over here, place a note over here, and place a note over here, and now all of these are being played after each other. This might be a little bit quiet, so let's go ahead and maybe use it like this. Yeah, I can also lay them on top of each other basically, and now they are being played at the same time. And then, well, you just need to decide what instruments you want to use and lay out the song that you want. And in the end, it is going to look like something like this. Let's wait until it's loaded up. So this is my intro that I've created. I use a xylophone, spoons, a cello, harp, the flute I don't use anymore, a guitar, and 2 types of violin. And it's not super long, it's 1 minute and 15 seconds. And how it sounds, I'm gonna show you in 1 second. If I now go ahead and start my game, you will be able to hear the intro for my game. And this is the full intro that I've created. As you can hear, it's repeating itself over and over again because, well, this is the only intro song or only song that I've created so far. So let me know what you think about it. Keep in mind, this was my very, very first music that I've ever made. I've never done this before, and I think that it turned out pretty well. It has a sort of melancholic touch to it, a sadder touch, which I actually wanted to achieve, and I think I did. I kind of like listening to it, and I think it's a good intro song. Maybe a little bit short, but it's good. So let's get to the fun part, the coding, right? What features did I implement? Well, for the music itself, I've implemented a way to change the music and the sound effects independently. So I can, for example, go ahead and I can remove the music completely. I can turn it completely up all the way I want. And now it's quite loud. But I can also turn it down a bit. And this is only a preview. Obviously, I still have to save the settings. But I think it's pretty cool, or it was pretty cool to be able to actually get the preview and then to save it and load it and keep the volume as is. For the sound effects, I've implemented a couple of sound effects, not too many yet. So for example, I have a chopping, well, like when a player chops a tree or hits a stone with a pickaxe. And in here you can set the volume for the sound effects. So this is quite loud. I can go ahead and make it a little bit quieter, or I can turn them completely off. And with this menu, the player basically has full control. He can either choose to turn off the music and only play with sound effects, or to just have music and turn the sound effects completely off. And this is the code for my sounds, or how I play the sounds. I have made a class, a custom audio manager, which is a mono behavior, and in here I have two audio sources. Theoretically, I can use one audio source to play the background music and to then trigger the sound effects or play the sound effects with one audio source. But I ran into one problem with having only one audio source, and this was when I wanted to change the volume for the sound effects and the music. Because I was only using one audio source, whenever I changed the volume for the music, for the background music in my menu that I've previously shown you guys, it also affected the volume for the sound effects. Well, why was that? Simply because there was only one audio source. And the easiest way to fix it was to just simply have two audio sources. So that's why I have two audio sources. I just simply initialize them, and in the update function I call the method play music. In the play music, I simply check whether I'm currently playing music or not. And only if I'm not playing music, I want to start playing something else. If I would not have this check if already is playing music, then it would start a new song over and over again. It would not finish playing one song. No, in every update, it would start playing a new song. And this over here just basically checks whether I have switched a scene. And with this scene switch, I need to play different music. For example, for me personally, I in the mine don't want to play music that is being played when a player roams on like the outside of the mine or on his farm and stuff like that. And then I basically get my audio clip. For my current scene, I set the volume from the settings that I use as setup. I add the clip and then I play the music. For the sound effects, I have two methods. For one, I just simply play a single sound and use the sound that is stored. And the other, I add a certain sound, and this is only used in the menu. So in here I can say, well, play it with full audio. And this is the real usage of the sound effects while playing. That's why I have an overload, why I have two methods for this sound effects playing. And this is basically all of the code that I have for using my audio. I can go ahead and show you guys how I determine the audio clip that needs to be played. So for this, I've made a class, a background music assets, and in here I simply have all of my, well, sounds. I have an array of audio clips for my intro, for my spring music, for my summer, autumn, winter, and mine. And currently I only have a song for intro and one for the spring, but later on I will have multiple songs for spring. That's why I have an array. Multiple songs for summer, autumn, winter, and mine. At least that's my plan. And in this method get clip for scene, I basically check, well, which is the currently active scene. And I then get the random clip from this array. So for the start scene, I want to have my intro music. For my farming scene, I want to have a music for the current season. So in here, I then basically check if this method is called, which is the current season that I'm in. And if it is spring, get me a random clip from my spring music. And if it is summer, get me a random clip from my summer music. I figured I select a random clip and not play it in the same order, just simply to not let the player predict which song comes next. I don't know if that's necessary or not, but it's just something that I wanted to implement. I want to have random songs. And I basically just simply check whether the next song that is being played is different than the one that was currently played, because I don't want to enable or to give the option to play the same song twice in a row. So I basically get a random number for the length of my array. And if it's a different number than the index that was played before, play the song. And if it's the same, well, get me another number. Of course, this only applies if we have more songs than one. Because if you only have one song, well, that would end up this would end up in an endless loop. It would probably crash the program and I would never get any music at all. So this is everything that I've implemented when it comes to music. I hope you enjoyed this devlog. Creating music was very, not necessarily frustrating, but it was a completely new topic for me personally. I've never done this before. I know how to code, but I don't know how to use LMMS or how to create a song. And this 1 minute and 15 second song, it took me probably 2 full days to create this song. But I of course had to get used to the program and to how to create music, and I had to watch some tutorials about music theory and stuff like that, just simply to get started. Let me know what you think about, well, for example, my code, the implementation, especially also if you like the music or not. And I see you guys in the next devlog. Bye bye.